Now look, I know I haven't made a video in a long time on this channel. I'm ashamed. I should be doing better. I've definitely been still watching movies and TV shows and stuff too, but bro, I just got out of Obsession. What the fuck? Bro, this is one of those movies where like I need to like get my thoughts out immediately because this movie was so good. I'm still in the parking lot, bro. Y'all see Horizon over there? Shout out Horizon, bro. You know what I'm saying? They got that real good pizza. But this might be like me just gassing it because I'm literally just walking out of the movie theater. But bro, this might be like my favorite movie so far of the year. To be fair, I ain't seen every new movie to come out. I just seen Backrooms, which is also pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. I think everybody that doesn't like that movie is just kind of confused. That movie's a pretty good movie. But, hey bro, we full thoughts in a second. Wait a second, let me get home. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, for those of y'all that haven't seen Obsession yet, the plot basically is about a guy who uses a mysterious wish-granting object which is called the One Wish Willow, and he uses it to win his crush's heart, but that leads to dark and disturbing consequences, and everything just gets crazy. Now, we are going to get into spoilers, but I'll put a timestamp on when that's going to happen, and I'll warn you again before we get there, because I have so many thoughts on this movie. But let's just talk about my immediate thoughts off rip. Bro, this movie so far is my favorite movie of the year. I'm not saying I've seen every movie so far, but this movie was amazing. This is the best horror movie that I've seen in a long time. I also haven't seen every horror movie, but this one it did something to me, bro. Now, I'm calling it a horror movie, which it is, but to be honest, this movie wasn't very scary, at least in my opinion. It was more unsettling than that. But let me just give props to everyone that needs props, bro. The main character, well, I don't know if she was the main character, but one of the main actresses, Indy Navarrete, I hope I'm saying her last name right, but she plays Nikki. Oh my goodness, bro. She put on a clinic. She put on a straight masterclass, bro. We're going to have to look out for her to see what she's going to be in next, because this is legit one of the best performances I've seen in a while. I'm not saying she Denzel or nothing, but this performance was amazing, bro. The way that she could just switch in and out from the real version of her character to the possessed version of her character, like on the stop of a dime, like so constantly, it was amazing, bro. She was by far the best part of this movie. She carried the movie. Not saying the other actors were bad or anything. Everybody did a great job, but her performance was just the standout here. Anytime she wasn't on screen, I was waiting her to get back on screen because everything with her in this movie was so great. Also, big shout out to the director, Curry Barker. Curry Barker is actually a content creator, or was. I guess he's a director now. He made short films on YouTube for the longest. And mistake me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure this is his first film directing ever, which is insane. At least feature-length film. And there are so many crazy stats that this movie is pulling in. Like, one of them that I saw earlier today, this is one of the only films to make more money after its opening weekend. Also one of the only films to make $100 million on a budget of under $1 million. I think their budget was $75,000. No, sorry, $750,000. But I'm pretty sure Curry Barker is about 26 years old. This is his first directed film. It's just amazing to see this and Backrooms do so well at the same time, because Backrooms is also directed by a first-time director who was 20 to 23 years old, and he was the actual creator of the Backrooms. But it's just so amazing to see like two young creators just dominate a space like this, like within a short span of time. Like, they release very closely to each other, and they all eating, everybody eating at the table. But to the things that I really like about the actual movie, one of the things is just the overall theme of Obsession. I feel like Nikki and Bear were like two sides of a coin. Bear was the more normal form of obsession that we typically see in people from day to day. Not saying obsession is normal, but he's fantasizing over this girl. He's in love with her, but I think he's more in love with the idea of her. He doesn't really get anything specific from her. She doesn't really show too many signs of liking him. They're just really good friends. But he's clearly obsessed with the girl, to the point where he's asking his mans to help rehearse how he's going to try to tell her that he likes her, which is already in itself insane to do, especially when you learn what his mans was even doing in the movie with the girl. But I'm not going to get to that right now. I'm not going to get to Ian. But when I say his obsession is a bit normal, this is a very, very realistic way to be obsessed with somebody. When you're sad, you go to their Instagram and look at their pictures. When they call you, your face lights up even though you were just sad. He's just obsessed with his high school crush. Over time, you see it kind of become unhealthy, but in the beginning of the movie, it seems completely normal. Now, when we get to the other side of obsession, the insane side that is like extremely disturbing to see. The thing controlling Nikki, which I'm gonna call the Willow, bro, it is literally inseparable from Bear. It can't function properly when he's not around. It refuses to be away from him. It goes out of its way to do stuff for him, whether it's something he wants or not. But she's doing everything purely out of obsession, watching him sleep. But it's kind of sad to think about because her obsession is really stemming from his obsession, because his is what pushed him to make that wish, even though realistically, who's assuming that wish is going to come true? But even when it does come true, he's okay with it because he was so obsessed with her. And all of the crazy shit that she was doing up until the very, very tail end of the movie, he was fine with it because he finally felt like she was obsessed with him like he was to her. And I feel like that's really the main disturbing part of the movie, is how far people will go just to feel loved the way that they love somebody. Like, it was sick the way they were doing it, bro. Nikki, I'm sorry. Everything that happened to you, completely unconsensual. Hey, man, that movie was so tragic, but I kind of find it funny that Bear fucked up everybody's life over a high school crush. And that's the most high school thing to do at the end of the day. But all right, now for the spoilers. Before we get into them, I want y'all to let me know down in the comments y'all favorite parts of the movie, what you think about the movie, any and all thoughts about obsession. If you're obsessed with your high school crush, still to this day, seek help, but comment down below. But anyway, by far my favorite parts of the movie, anytime Nikki and the Willow were like going back and forth with being in control of her body, and you could see the actress like switching back and forth in real time while she's acting, bro, those were so amazing. Like, even when it first started in the beginning of the movie, when he snaps the Willow and then you see her look back at the car after she was just about to go in the house, and then when she starts talking to him at the window, the Willow's trying to take over and Nikki's like, whoa, I'm being weird, what's going on? And then the Willow's trying to play off Nikki acknowledging that it's weird, and it's kind of going back and forth until the Willow just takes over. Bro, that scene was, at first when I was first watching it, I was like, what the hell is going on? But like after seeing the whole movie, I feel like that was them two like tugging over the body, and I thought that was done super, super well. And then of course the party scene where she snaps back into reality for a quick second, and she kind of just loses her mind because she doesn't know where she's at. She sees what's going on. She's like, it's not me. It's not me. And then she tries to stab herself with the bottle. All of the cries for help that she had, bro, like writing on the picture that that's not me. Her kind of gaining a little control while the Willow's sleeping, begging freaking Bear to kill her. And Bear's gonna say, why? Is it so bad to be with me? And obviously her response is, I've never been with you, Bear. What the fuck are you talking about, you creep? Man, when I was first watching the movie, I was like, okay, I can understand how this turns out of control and he's not really in the wrong, because why would he think that was actually gonna become a true wish? But when he sees clearly right away that what's going on isn't okay, like he learns very fast what's going on. He ignores all the red flags because this is what he wanted. The most selfish character known to man. Oh my god, he was driving me insane. Which is why, like I said before, he was obsessed with the idea of Nikki, because if he was really, really in love with Nikki, he wouldn't allowed any of that to happen. He would have already been trying from the get-go to undo whatever was done to her. But I also think it's really weird that a lot of people online aren't really seeing Bear as the villain of the movie. I mean, obviously the surface level villain is, of course, the Willow, the One Wish Willow company, if you want to say that, because their customer service line is kind of cooked too. Like, obviously the Willow is one of the main villains, but the main villain of the movie is 100% Bear. Obviously he was the cause of the whole movie to happen, and he didn't intend for it to happen the way it did. But bro, he was perfectly fine with all the crazy things that were happening. Like Nikki yelling in the restaurant, Nikki watching him freaking sleep, Nikki moving like a demon, bro. She was doing way too much and he was ignoring all of the flags. The part that blew me was there was literally a part where the Willow stopped acting like Nikki, and he was begging her to just act like Nikki, and she was like, I can act like Nikki, I can be Nikki, I can be Nikki. Bro, you're talking to a demon. You're talking to a demon. And he's like almost trying to negotiate with it, or like come to a common ground with it. Like, you act like this girl I'm obsessed with and I'll continue to be with you like you want. Like, it was just really, really getting weird. And I was like, oh yeah, this guy is sick, bro. He's sick. He's too far gone. I actually really like that scene a lot because I haven't seen any horror movies, or at least it doesn't happen in a lot of them. The main character knows the possessed is possessed, and it gets to the point where he is having a conversation with the thing that's doing the possessing. and they're both acknowledging what's going on is fake, and they're both okay with it. Another thing I really liked about the movie, which I didn't expect to like about it, it was surprisingly funny. There are a lot of times when me and all the other people in my theater were genuinely laughing because the movie was just funny. Like at the party, when Nikki was like, all of you guys are gonna die without feeling the love that I feel for my bear, and everybody just got quiet, and she was like, fine, I don't give a fuck. It was just a lot of those small sprinkled in moments that were actually funny. I know the director is like a fan of Zach Krager, the guy that directed Barbarian, but I feel like it had that same kind of vibe to it where, yeah, it's a little, the movie's overall unsettling and it's a horror movie, but it has its good moments where it's actually like genuinely funny. Another thing I noticed about the movie, the One Wish Willow, I don't think was an inherently bad thing in the universe. Even people online were saying, oh, it works. Some people were saying it didn't work. I think why it was so many mixed reviews when he was looking was because the result of it was going to be entirely based on what the user wished for. At the end of the movie, Ian wished for $1 billion, literally $1 billion dropped from the sky. Bear wished for her to be obsessed with him more than anything in the world. He could have literally just said, I wish she liked me like I like her. It would have been a little better. Or, I wish she had feelings for me. But the One Wish Willow doesn't seem inherently bad, as in every single wish is going to be twisted to make it the worst thing possible. I just feel like the vague wishes or the wishes like Bear gave are going to go to the maximum extent it possibly can, bro. I also saw a weird theory online that I wanted to say something to y'all about to see how y'all felt about it. I don't want to say that it's true because it kind of sounds stupid. But the more I think about it, the more I could kind of understand it. People were saying the whole thing with the cat dying and the One Wish Willow happening around that same point in time, people were saying the spirit that took over Nikki's body was the spirit of his cat or just a cat. Now, I saw one thing saying that a lot of things that happened in the movie were vindicative of a cat, but things that a cat would do. Also, on the back of the box of the One Wish Willow, there's an image of a cat, but a few things that the Willow was doing as Nikki that kind of make people think that maybe it's the spirit of his dead cat. For one, she hides in corners and watches him sleep. She's always watching him from across the room. She literally waited by the door from him all day like a pet would. Some people said her eyes glowed in the silhouette, which kind of symbolized a cat's eyes at night. She also brings him back multiple dead things, obviously one being the cat. It brought it to the main character. Then it cooked it and fed it to the main character. And also, of course, Sarah towards the end. I don't want to talk about that. Long live Sarah, bro. And some people are saying it kind of makes more sense that this is a devoted pet that's trying to become closer to its owner and it becomes a lot more sick and dark. But me personally, I think that theory is cool, but I do feel like it's more genuinely just an entity, a demon, whatever you want to call it, trying its best to imitate this human. And let's talk about that ending, man. The ending was so sad to me, bro. I know they shot another one where I think Bear and Nikki died, but apparently this is the good ending. This is definitely not the good ending though, because when Nikki snaps back into reality, bro, I thought about it when it was happening. It's crazy how we were like formally introduced to the character with her surrounded by all of her friends, have the time of her life, and the movie literally ends with her surrounded by all of her friends dead because of the thing that was possessing her body. So it's not her fault. But when the cops come, it's gonna be her fault. So she's left with all this mess and she's the only survivor. It's just so sick and I feel so bad for Nikki, bro. And nobody's gonna believe her. It's probably not even a point of trying to get anybody to believe her. But yeah, man, this movie was great. I also love the music, the sound effects. The cinematography was pretty good too. I'm not gonna go full glaze because when I'm recording this, I'm still kind of fresh off of my first watch. Y'all know sometimes that post-movie clarity be hidden, but as of right now, this is one of my favorite horror movies in recent memory. This is a really, really good film. If anybody's thinking about going to see it, please go see it. It is a reason it's performing as well as it is. And also, I know it's been a while that I posted on this channel. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Life be life and a lot of stuff be going on. I'm really trying to hop back on the train with this channel though, bro, because I really, really do love film. I love TV shows. I love movies. I love talking about them. And sometimes I just need to vent to y'all because I don't got nobody to talk about them with. And I need to start doing that again, bro. But if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, man. If there's any other shows or movies that you want me to see or that you want to talk about, let me know down below in the comments. I'm almost done with Spider Noir, bro. That show is gas. I might make a video on that. If you're not watching it in black and white, you're not watching it for real. But hey, man, it's too late. I got work in the morning. Goodbye.